thanking God for this privilege from God's servants and also our mother and the pastorate and you there. It's a family marriage service. Wonderful. Without a family, the world is nowhere to be known. But this morning, I want to focus on the children. One thing is certain. God says children are a blessing from God. There are no mistakes. And I want to emphasize this. There are no mistakes. It is not a mistake that God allowed you to come out from the family where you have come out from. God knows that is the best place you are to come out from. But let's look at Psalm 127, verses 3 to 5. Very wonderful. Psalm 127, verses 3 to 5. Look at the Message translation. Don't you see that children are God's best gifts? Oh my God. He said, don't you see that children are best God's gifts? The fruit of the womb is his generous legacy. Help me look up. We'll read the other ones. He said, children, they are the best God's gifts. No wonder Jesus was so clear. He looked at the children. He said, if we cannot behave like them, we will not make heaven. Now, there are some unique things about these children that make Jesus to refer to them. Even when children were coming to him, they tried to stop them. He said, no, allow them to come to me. And that is why in this section, all children here, I want you to know this morning that you are not just a mistake or an accident, but God wonderfully packaged you. And he said that you are the best. Oh my God, can you say, I am the best? There is no other one like me. He said, I am the best. He now positioned me in Oseji's family. And from there, he now connected me to Worldwide Christian Center. It is not a mistake. And for every child in this commission, I see it as a privilege that we are connected to this commission. And that is why the spirit of excellency that reigns in this commission will take over your life afresh from today. Jesus said, let them come to me because they have some wonderful qualities. What are some of these wonderful qualities? Very interesting. Number one is the spirit of obedience. The spirit of obedience. Obedience is obedience. You cannot change it. And I'll just look at Colossians 3:20. Listen to me. Children, do what your parents tell you. This delights the master no end. I repeat, children, do what your parents tells you. This delights the master no end. Not obeying your parents do not delight God. When you don't obey your parents, God is not delighted. And that is why this morning, God said you need to obey. Obedience is obedience. Now listen to me. I don't know, maybe for me, my kids know you cannot be outside by 7 o'clock. It is not possible. If you must go out, there must be a reason. And even when I am not there, there is a reason that, oh, Jesse went out. What did he go to do? Can I tell you the truth, children? Without obedience, you are nowhere. And remember, the seed you sow today is what you reap tomorrow. If you disobey your father tomorrow, know that your children will disobey you. There is no shortcut about that. And that is why children need to obey their father. Obey the word of God. Very important. The Bible is so clear about this. And I want to say, whatever you are petting today, it will pester you tomorrow. And that is why you need to be serious. Children too, you must learn to be teachable. I'm going to take time here. To be teachable and obey instruction. Now listen to me. The pilot of an aircraft knows that the only thing he needs to do is to press the right buttons and the aircraft will take off. There is no other shortcut about it. That is the instruction. And if he follows the instruction, he will get the result. We must learn to follow instruction. What instruction has been given to us, we must learn to follow them. Because without instruction, child of God, we cannot go far. Thank God for the children church in Worldwide Christian Center. Can we put our hands together for Jesus? Whether you like it or not, they are doing wonderfully well. Do you know they go out for evangelism every last Saturday of the month? I see my kids. I say, where are you going? He said, Dad, we are going for evangelism. When an instruction has been given, it needs to be put to practice. Every instruction that is given to you is for your own well-being. It is not for nothing. Now listen to me. If I show you my back, there are marks there. I grew up in the barracks and the discipline was tough. I remember asking my mother, are you sure this man is my father? But when the discipline was there, it was tough. But at the end of it, because I obeyed, the discipline was able to put me on the right path. There's a brother I want to bring to church. Listen, children. Failure to obey instruction. I want to bring him to church. Right now, life is not easy for him. He was in the university and decided to follow the big boys who are wealthy to join cults. And he was called the Capone. Suddenly, they rusticated all of them, 20 of them. 15 of them had to go abroad because their parents were well-to-do to school. But the rest of them are stranded. As I'm talking to you, he's doing a security job. No school has agreed to accept him. They said because you are wrong. And now he is praying. I invited him to church. He's been here once. And I said, if you will obey the instruction here, God will lift you up. Beloved, you must be teachable. You must learn to obey instruction. But this also dangles on the parents. You, that service will close and you will walk to the children church. And the teacher is telling you, wait before you collect your child. And you push the teacher away to collect your child. Your child is watching. Your child is watching. By the time you come to church, there is a father here. Anytime he's coming, I say, Daddy, come and sit here. He say, no. I say, your son, your children are watching. No. He will sit. Can we learn to obey instruction? It is for your own good. When you are asked to sit, please sit. Children are the best gifts that God has given us. And let me also say this. There is no school of learning that replaces home training. Stop going to your friend's house to be comfortable. Stay in your parents' house and do what you have to do. Whatever your parents do not have, you don't need it now. When it is time, God will put you in a place to get it. Listen, children, that your friend is using an iPhone is not compulsory me you must use an iPhone. I was forced to buy an iPhone because of office policy. I'm not interested in that. Wherever family you find yourself, please, you are the best. See it as a privilege. My father might not be well to do, but I am proud of my father. My mother might be selling granola. I am proud of my mother. Every instruction given will follow. As you follow instruction, that granola will catapult you. Some of us went to school with the money that was gotten from selling of bread. I carried bread even while in school. My mother used to have a provision shop. If in the whole of this area there is no bread in any shop, come to my mother's shop, you must find bread. Can we be teachable? Can we learn to obey instruction in what God has asked us to do? Let me also share this with you. You must learn to take responsibility. All the children, listen. When you refuse to take responsibility, it will bounce back on you. Look at the sons of Eli. Let me give you this example in the Bible. Eli was a priest. He was serving unto God. But the children refused to take responsibility. And somewhere along the line, the Bible said they were doing things, disobeying instruction, and death became inevitable. When you disobey the instruction of God, when you fail to take responsibility, I shared this message with my children this morning, and lots of questions was coming. Jesse was asking me questions, because that one, you know, in blood they hurt like my own they hurt. So we usually say, okay. But one thing is certain, let's learn to take responsibility. I asked them, I said, 1st of January, July, I told you people will not be shouting again. And they said, I said, how far has I gone? Am I still shouting? Incidentally, my wife betrayed me. My wife just said, you've been shouting. Can I beg of you this morning? Let's learn to obey instruction, and it shall be well with us.